He captivates its audience with amazing vocals, addictive melodies, and electrifying performances. Having started out as a young artist, he has quickly proven his seat at the table, album release after album release. Here, for an exclusive interview with SoundCheck Mag, we have gifted singer-songwriter Grant Knoche.
Hello. I love that intro. That's great.
Thank you, of course. Very easy to write, obviously, but
Oh, thank you.
how are you, Grant?
I'm doing great. I'm in LA right now and it's a rainy day at the moment. I have a dog, you can see him kind of back here, but he's just really, really sleepy on these rainy days, but it's a good day so far.
You know how it gets with those raining days. Are you
Yeah.
getting ready for that album release party?
I am. I am. Yeah, I'm trying to get all the little moving parts together and done before it comes up. But I actually had my brother's wedding was this past weekend, so I was checked out for the weekend, and then I got back on Monday. I'm like, all right, let's go, let's do this. A lot to get done, but I'm excited.
A little bit of a celebration, never hurt nobody. And now
Yeah,
you're back at it, back on the
I know.
hustle.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So yes, you have a lot of things coming up. The biggest thing is that album.
Yeah.
Good luck getting over me. With that, you also have had a few other albums prior to this one. What would you say is different in the approach for songwriting and production in this album compared to the last?
Yeah, I would say on I Could Die Just Thinking of Us, I think, that was my first full length project. And I think I think the approach to that one was a very vulnerable kind of state of mind with it. A lot of it was like in the beginning of love and heartbreak and, back into love and just the ups and downs of everything. And I think a lot of those songs come from a very vulnerable place, very emotional kind of area. And with Good Luck Getting Over Me, I kind of wanted to go into this project just like, let's have a really fun, upbeat, crazy dance album kind of thing. And so I think that was a really cool challenge for myself and something completely different because I grew up listening to Adele and just love like ballads and emotional, heartfelt kind of music. But I've also, grew up listening to EDM and dubstep and pop music and am a big fan of that stuff. So it was a cool challenge for myself to like, how do I make a full album that keeps that energy going, but also has its pushes and pulls and dynamic parts in between everything. So there's a little bit of a different approach to it, but I'm very excited how it came out.
Honestly, with the few songs that I've heard from your singles,
Mhm.
I am already obsessed with it, and
Thank you.
it is not even out yet. So,
Thank you.
very excited. Which tracks would you say were the most difficult to write or record?
I'd say one of the most difficult to write to was probably Woohoo, only because that song I had started it probably 2 to 2.5 years ago, like the main track for it. And I had that beginning like Woohoo kind of tagline part, but I had a completely different track underneath it. It was a fully like a very like halftime kind of beat to it, and it had that bass still under that synth bass under it as well. But I think it was last December, I was going through my hard drive and I came across that song and I was like, huh, this is really cool. Like, let me see if I can kind of reproduce this or give it a new life. And I kind of, did it out and then I got my mic and all of the melodies on it were a one take melody of everything that I wanted for it. I think the weird part is that I always kind of start with the melody and I'll say like dummy lyrics and just random things that come to mind. And then I saved the project and I didn't come back to it for maybe another 6 to 8 months. And when I did come back to it, I had listened to that demo probably 20 times and had demoitis at that point. So just going in and like writing the lyrics to the melody that I already knew I wanted was a little bit harder because it's like that puzzle piece of like, okay, I know I want this many syllables in this area and I can't go over here because I like the melody going up at this point. So just trying to figure out how it all could fit was really challenging, but I'm so excited with how it came out.
Like, how do you know a song is ready?
I don't. I think I know a song is ready when I'm running out of time to submit it to Spotify. That's my cue right there because I think something really interesting with this release compared to like my last ones, I thought it would be cool to just let my fans really decide what songs I was going to be releasing. And so every 2 weeks I was releasing a new single and I would put up two songs on my website that they could go and vote between. And it was not rigged in any way that I'm like, oh, I have these songs all done ahead of time and I'm really just going to pick the one I want. I genuinely, all the songs are maybe at like 80% or so, and I was kind of waiting during the voting period to see, okay, like which ones are they mostly voting for, which one do they like the most, and then I would go in and completely finish that one up, just because I kind of like having that extra time at the end to be like, oh, maybe there's a new idea that comes to my head to add to this. Yeah, it was very fun to do that.
I honestly love that you include your fans in your music writing process.
Thanks.
It's very interesting to see an artist really put in detail that their fans are looking for. And I would say, like, I know it's not out yet, but what songs do you think your fans will connect with the most?
Friction is one of my favorites, and that one I wrote it maybe 2 years ago, and it's just been, that's kind of the one of the songs that is one of the first, and in my head I was like, maybe I'll beat this song with some other tracks on the album, and that one just kept coming up for me that I was like, this is a great song that I need to add on there. I really hope fans really connect with that. I also last year did, when I was traveling for different shows, I would do a little park meetup with fans and I would play them some unreleased songs and kind of get their thoughts on what they liked. And Friction was always one of their number one favorites. So I'm very excited for it to come out and to hear what people think.
I'm excited to hear it and see it.
Me too. I had autopilot on repeat. Well, we
You
included,
have?
I do our social, and so I included you in the
Uh,
New Music Friday roundup we did the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, autopilot, I've had just like on a loop. I'm a dancer, so I love what you
Oh, I
said
love
about
that.
really wanting this to be like a dancey, vibey record. So
Yeah.
I actually have a question because the artwork for it is so unique and like really eye-catching. Are you into kind of like BMX like that, or how did you come up with that whole creative concept?
Yeah, when I was younger, I actually rode on motorbikes and
You
everything.
did,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Very
that
cool.
is my dad's bike. And we
Oh,
were like, this really is a cool thing because it ties back to like my younger self a little bit when we used to
oh,
do that.
that's really neat. It's,
Yeah,
it's
but
different too. I feel like you don't see, it's different than your average album artwork. So really
thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's funny, my manager and I, we do a lot of our visuals together, and he's a photographer as well, and so we just collaborate on like what we want it to look
Yeah.
like, and I'll Photoshop up, everything and make it kind of come
Nice.
in, color grade it and stuff. I remember with my last album, I Could Die Just Thinking of Us, the cover art of like the lightning and everything. We were so
Mhm.
proud of that cover art, and we've always just been like every cover art we want to level up and do something new and keep
Totally.
doing it.
Yeah. I feel
And
like the red is such a powerful. You're in red right now too. I feel like red
yeah,
is like your signature color for this album.
I know. And it's funny
Yeah.
because blue was my color last time. Even my whole room is blue. My dog's name is blue.
Oh,
So,
really? You're pulling a
yeah.
Taylor Swift, like a different color for every era.
Yeah, I love to have like, yeah, the different eras of stuff, which
Yeah.
is really cool. Yeah, for this cover art, I had the song title for Good Luck Getting Over Me as that
Yep.
title. And I
Yep.
was trying to figure out what album title would really encapsulate a whole, album in one. I was just like, Good Luck Getting Over Me gives such confidence and such like a really cool vibe to it. And I think it really fit each of the tracks perfectly. And then we were also just trying to think, okay, what cover art fits that now? Like what can really look cool and almost look
Yeah.
very grand and iconic kind of looking. And so we were
Yep.
like that wheely kind of moment of just kind of looking
So
down
you're
and
doing
being
like a
like,
trick in one of them, right? Like
yeah,
a song preview. Yeah, very
yeah.
cool. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats
Thank
on
you
this
so
thing. It's
much.
really exciting. I think altogether it seems like just a really cohesive, creative package. So
Thank you. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
but the songs they make you just want to like vibe out and have an impromptu dance party.
I love that. Yeah, I grew up dancing like 7. I started dancing and did all types. So
Oh,
I think
did
that's
you?
really, yeah, yeah. It's kind of come into
Oh,
my production of like, just the musicality and rhythm and, knowing what a dancer would dance to, I think really helps. Just
love
being able
it.
to be like, okay, I know what I'm producing. If I'm like grooving and doing something, I'm like, I like this.
Gonna be a TikTok dance trend. I can feel it already.
Oh, I
Yeah.
could definitely see this.
For
Yeah.
autopilot?
Yeah, 100%. Fernando, you've heard that one, right? Autopilot?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right? Don't you were the one he like sent it when Fernando was
I don't
sharing
I don't
info
even
with us.
dance
And
that
he's like,
much and like
I know he's like,
I could
Alana,
already
this is
see
all
myself.
you. Yeah. It's like just such a, I don't know, like one of the ones that you like just hear, but then you feel it in your body and I feel like just get lost in it. So it's
Oh,
great.
I love that.
Excited
Thank
about
you.
it.
What are your dancing influences?
That's a great question.
Ooh,
Well,
I
I'm
would
gonna
say
be
with this album, it would be
yeah.
like I would probably like. I think there's a lot of Justin Timberlake influences, and
Oh,
Michael
Oh, I
Jackson. He kind
feel
of does
that.
cool stuff. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, there is some Timber. You're right. Timberlake. There's a
Hmm.
little
yeah,
like one of the songs, I'm forgetting, blanking on which one now, almost had like evoked a little bit of like Flow Rida and like the like late
Oh,
2000s, like,
uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh, I
pop.
love that.
Definitely some Timberlake, maybe even like a little bit of like Robin Thicke, like those kind of just like
Mhm.
iconic pop sounds. But for me, for my dancing influences, I feel like right now, and granted, I'm probably, how old is she? I think I'm like at least 12 years older than her, but Tate McRae, I'm such a Tate McRae girl.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
great.
learning all of her choreography. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
awesome.
She reminds me of just like back when I grew up with Britney Spears. So it's such a nostalgic kind of
Totally.
deja
That's
vu.
awesome.
It's funny
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah, I
getting a
feel like,
lot of nostalgia back
yeah. And
this
for you, you're
year.
like, you can kind of carve out your own space. When you think of like, there's boy bands and but like the male pop star, I was just reading an article on it the other day. There's really like an opening for that
Yeah. There's
in
not
like the
really
music
any.
world. There's not, I mean, like the solo kind of, is that what you sort of define your sound as? Like really,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
pop.
that's the lane
Yeah.
I'm going for right now
Yeah,
is
that's, I
just,
mean,
growing up dancing and everything, I definitely like in my shows want to show that a bunch and have full dancers and even in my shows right
yes.
now on tour, it's, full choreography and when I was in Kids Bop when I was younger. And so just learning at such a young age how to sing and dance at the same time and do it for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh,
Been
yeah, the stamina,
so
the endurance for sure.
It's been an amazing thing to have learned at such a young age. So yeah, I'm very excited to do that.
Were you on the competition circuit too in conventions when you were younger? Did you do
I
dance
was.
competitions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
Yep.
all those.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I feel like in the pop space for sure, it's such a good time and exciting time for you to kind of be
Yeah.
embarking on this new chapter.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
so funny. I feel like everyone always is like, oh, things happen. Or like when somebody blows up, they're like, oh, it's so overnight when it's really 10 years in the making. And I feel
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Oh, yes. Yep.
there's so many times when I think to myself, I'm like, 5 years ago, I remember being like, all right, I'm ready to, just take the world by storm and do it. And then 2 years later, I'm like, man, I'm glad I had those next 2 years because I've learned so much. And so you just
Yeah.
keep learning so much. And I'm like, I really feel like there's a time and place for everything. And so I think right now there isn't anyone. So I'm like, maybe that's a clear shot and a good
And
opening.
I feel like just today too, with like the TikTokization, I call it, of music and just having
Yeah.
social media as like its own kind of honestly like promotional tool within a promotional tool. There's just so much you
Mhm.
can do.
I feel like Grant has that like on lock with TikTok and Instagram. Like
Uh-huh.
each
Yeah.
post is super powerful.
Thank
Just
you.
very
Yeah,
showing
you can
off
tell.
like
No,
all your
I
moves.
agree.
Yes.
Tell there's a real strategy there, like of you said, either between like polling your fans about what song they want to hear, there's a real engagement. And I think that's, I mean, at least for me, when I'm building our social channel and we're a new brand, it's all about not only just getting followers and getting an audience, but really
Yeah,
cultivating an online community. Like
totally.
people who want to engage, people who want to come back, they want to interact with our content. We do a lot of polls and a lot of interaction just to try to make, it feel like a really collaborative, creative effort. So I think totally see that
For
in your social
sure.
media as well.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
It's completely amazing what you do with like your songs and your performances. Your dancing is incredible.
Thanks.
And I want to actually ask you, like you already started your tour a little bit.
I did, yeah.
And did you play some of the new songs that are going to be on the album for this tour?
I did. I did. I played a few. Friction was definitely one of those that I played, and it was cool too. Just getting to, I've done, festivals and different things in the past, but I feel like at festivals, there's a mix of people there for you and for different artists and people that might not even have heard of you yet. So it's that you're kind of winning over people in the audience, or you're trying to at least. And so the cool thing with this tour was just getting to perform for people that are there for me and my music solely and just getting to see them, sing the lyrics back to me and know every single, second of the song that's going to happen was really, really cool. I loved performing Friction because it was something new that they haven't heard yet, and just getting to see their reaction and their vibe to the song was really neat.
It's such a great thing to just see the audience just light up when you're trying to test out new waters type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how does it feel to have fans come up to you and just gloat about like the new music that you've been putting out?
It feels great. It's a funny thing because I think I make all my music. This is my studio that I'm in right now. I make all my music here, and so I don't have my piano's missing at the moment, but yeah, I have all my speakers and stuff behind here. Making it in your studio at home for so long and for 2 years, you're just like, okay, how's it gonna go? Do people like this? It's really just your own kind of space, that you're making it in, and you never know like what's gonna happen once it leaves that space and once other people kind of hear it. So being able to have that feedback from people and even people stop me when I'm, walking somewhere and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love your music." Like that's just really cool to hear. And even, when there's people from overseas that are DMing me and like, "I heard your song in this club," or, "I'm loving listening to this new song." It's really, really neat. And it's really cool to just see that people are reacting to it in such a great way. Makes me feel good.
It's great. No, and do you see your tour extending with the album release?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. These first shows that we've announced at the moment are just the first little batch and then continuing into the next year, which is exciting.
Perfect. I'm super stoked. You're going to be making a lot of rounds in New York City, I hope.
Yes, I'm coming to Brooklyn, I think, on the
Oh,
14th of
nice.
November.
We'll definitely be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
We'll
go.
definitely
You
be.
should.
I
yeah.
will be. I will be for
Definitely.
sure.
Where are you at, Lana?
So I split my time. I'm from Portland, Maine. That's where I am right now. And then I split my
Okay.
time between here and Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah. I went out there because I do freelancing for an agency I used to work at in Boston, and we have some clients out there. And then also
Cool.
there were some dance opportunities out there. So I split my time. But if you're,
That's awesome.
yeah, I don't know if you're coming, if you have any Florida shows planned or Boston.
Here in the future, yeah, we're working
Yeah,
on it.
you
Yeah.
should do Boston. There's so many great little venues there.
Yeah. What do you have any places you suggest or that you like there?
Paradise Rock Club is really fun for kind of like a
Paradise Rock
small,
Club.
intimate vibe. House of Blues right at Fenway, really, really cool.
Cool.
You kind of you'd get your fans and then casual people who maybe like haven't heard of you, and then you get a little bit of the Fenway crowd, depending on if it's, baseball season or whatever. So
Yeah.
some good spots over by TD Garden. I'm a Celtics fan, and they're always adding, I feel like, new little bars and just
Places over
clubs
there.
and venues over there. Yeah. But Brooklyn will be fun. Where are you playing in Brooklyn?
I think it's the Meadows in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
fun. Have you been there,
Yeah.
Fernando, or no? The Meadows?
It sounds familiar. I'm trying to think
I
about
know.
it.
Doesn't it sound familiar? I
It
feel like
sounds very
maybe just
familiar.
saw did one of our SoundCheck
I
cards
think
play there?
there's a venue directly next door to it that is owned by the same place
Could be
that
it. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe that y'all have heard that and seen it or yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite venue that you've played thus far?
The first city we did so far was like it was kind of a first stop in October and the most of
Oh,
them
okay.
are in November and December. But I did Dallas. It was at Club Data in Dallas, which is really cool.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Never been to
But I'm
Dallas.
excited for Los Angeles. I'm performing at the Moroccan Lounge, which is cool.
Oh,
'Cause
that'll be awesome.
yeah, there's just a
Very
lot of
cool.
different artists and stuff that I've gone to see there, so being able to
Yeah.
perform in that same stage is going to be really sick.
That's awesome. Do you have a certain vibe that you like to kind of cultivate with your performances? Like, do you like them to be, I know you said you're so big on fan interaction.
Yeah,
So
just
a lot of like chatting with the crowd, like taking requests, just like feeling very kind of engaged.
yeah, I mean, there was with this album, a lot of it's so upbeat. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dancing and lights and choreography kind of happening and
Yeah.
different like crowd interaction stuff throughout some of the songs. But then I grew up listening to Adele and playing piano and ballads
Yeah.
and stuff. So there's definitely a part in the set where I strip it back and do a lot of kind of piano ballad stuff and show that side of me as well, which is really nice to do.
I was so hopeful Adele was going to do the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm really excited about Bad Bunny too, but I know Adele
Yeah.
was like, nah, she'd
Oh, that'd be
kill it
so
for a
cool.
Super Bowl halftime show. I hope she gets it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, like the Super Bowl with Bad Bunny, that's
I'm
gonna be
excited.
super sick.
Oh yeah, that's
Can't
gonna be
wait.
cool.
It's gonna be so good.
Can't
I'm
wait
so
to watch
excited.
it. Back to the album.
This is what happens.
Um,
Creatives,
I know.
we all go down we get on tangents.
Right?
No,
I know.
honestly, I'm loving this interview because we're just like a whole bunch of friends just talking, and honestly, it's
Yeah.
the greatest experience I've had with an interview thus far.
Oh, thank you.
That is very, very casual, just like easygoing. Yeah. Have you done
Thank-
are you doing a lot of press for the album, or do you have a lot kind of
Yeah.
promotional stuff?
Yeah. Just work, yeah, doing a lot of interviews and stuff. And then
Yep.
Are there any particular songs in the album that you feel especially proud of? I know you talked about like a few of them, but
I would say the two that I really love, one production wise that I'm really proud of is the outro of Autopilot is one of my favorites. Just like that whole kind of breakdown part of Autopilot is really fun. And I think too, like, I remember before I made it, I had, the rest of the song done and I was like, all right, I want this to go somewhere completely different and just have like a cool outro to it. And making that was so much fun. And that was the same. I did an outro kind of breakdown part in Woohoo as well at the end. So that was really fun to make. But another one that I really love a bunch is I Miss Your Love. And I just love it because it's feels a little bit different than the other songs in the album because it starts in that kind of slow, like, oh, wait, this starts a little different than everything else. And then it kind of picks up and gets into a new place. I feel like it's a great marriage between my last project, I Could Die Is Thinking of Us, and then Good Luck Getting Over Me, because it kind of has that vulnerability in the song mixed with the upbeat elements and everything at once, you know?
That's, I
Honestly,
feel like the part that reminded me of Robin Thicke was that song with like the slow kind of intro and then like the build and you just like
Yeah.
yeah, it's so great. You
Thank
definitely
you.
can hear the influences. I know you're talking about very like Timberlake-esque, especially with the outro of Autopilot. It almost reminded me of like the kind of like R&B ad libs
Yeah.
that you
hmm
hear. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
AJ Blige or like a Brandy song. Really
Yeah,
cool.
totally.
No, I feel like Grant has been very spot on with how he produces the music. It's
Yeah.
evolved a great amount from like the first few albums, and it's been very amazing to see how it's grown so far and how it's gonna
Yeah.
grow later on. It's honestly such a well done album, even though like we haven't even heard like half of it yet. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see like everybody's reaction once it fully comes out.
I appreciate that.
That's gonna be so
Wait,
exciting. So you do
Couple
audio
days.
recording at home. You said this is your studio, you said,
Yeah,
right? Behind.
I
Yeah,
do.
very, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's a lot
nice
of,
because I think honestly if I started producing at 11 and just kind of
wow.
figuring it out and starting with GarageBand and then experimenting off of YouTube tutorials and figuring stuff out. Honestly, if I didn't produce, I don't know if I could do it as an artist because it's just being especially independent, it's so much money for production and everything to do and to make that many songs and then an album and all the promotion behind it too. It's like I think something that I love being able to do is just like if I have an idea in the middle of the night, I can get up and come to my studio and just make it come to life, which is really cool and be able to have that creative control over whatever I want to do.
That's awesome. Do you have a lot of collaborators either on this record or yeah,
Yeah.
in projects you're
Yeah, I
working
have a
on?
lot of on this one there is I think I co-produced there's a co-producer on Autopilot with me on that one that we did
Yeah.
together and then I think they're on my song Motion, I did another one there. Yeah, there's a few different co-producers on a few things. And then I love just the writing side. At least when I'm in the studio, I try to get like a great beat kind of loop going that's like very inspiring. Like, okay. And then at that point, then I kind of step back and, all right, let's just write this song and really kind of work it out and puzzle piece it together. And so I
Nice.
love just getting to work with, new writers and stuff. And I think what's so cool about writing is that even with new people I've never worked with before, we'll come into the studio and we'll sit here for 3 hours or something and just like it's almost like a really long therapy session between everybody and it's not like even though I'm the artist that we're writing for it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like I'm the only one pouring my heart out and saying stuff. It's a very balanced conversation between all of us of like, oh my gosh, you went through this, wow, that's really neat, maybe we write some of the lyrics from that point of view or bring it in, it feels like a really cool collaborative effort between everybody, which I think
Very
is so cool.
is there anything you feel like you might change or experiment with differently after hearing the final mastered product?
Well, I guess that's what a deluxe album's for.
Oh, there you
Oh, okay.
go.
You heard it here first, right? Oh, I'm already
Always
excited
keep
for
them
that.
wanting more, right?
Right.
Right.
Right when my feet were gonna be planted, he brought them back up. Like
Right.
That's very poetic. So I like that.
I thank you.
I mean, hey, a deluxe. I feel like the deluxe album is becoming. I mean, I guess Taylor Swift did a lot of them, and now Tate McRae, I think, is starting. It's becoming really like a thing, like where they just
Yeah,
have the vault songs, or you have the unreleased tracks, and the artist knows they have them, and they're just kind of waiting for the right time to package it together and release it to fans. I mean, the
totally.
unfortunate thing is with TikTok, like I know Tate's album got completely leaked before it was even
Yeah.
released, so like leaking is a huge problem when there are songs kind of saved up like that.
Yeah, totally. But I'm excited because I mean, when I was writing this project, there's probably about 40 to 50 songs that I wrote, and
Wow.
then just, kind of nitpicking and, organizing them into the project. And so I'm excited because there's a lot more that I was like, they're all your children and your babies. So you're like, I want them all to be out,
Yeah, yeah,
but at
yeah.
the same time, I do want it to be like, you don't want to give way too much that it muddies up what the project is, but you also don't want to give
Sure.
too little that it doesn't really give a full scope at what you're wanting. So it was cool to just kind of like select the main ones I wanted, and then I have others that I can use for
Yeah.
deluxe project. Or there's like even songs when I'm producing it, I'm like, man, this would be a really cool thought for a remix of this song, or
Yeah.
just trying something completely different or features or, something like that.
Do you find that most of the inspiration for your artistry and your writing comes from your own personal actual experience, or do you ever sort of write from like a fictional narrative place of just like a story that you think
Yeah.
of, or a hypothetical or something like that?
I would say on my first project, Color Me Blue, a lot of that, I think I released it when I was 17.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't been in a relationship at that point. A lot of my songs were coming from, watching movies or, relationships around me, friends kind of I'll think of like titles and I'm like, oh, wait, this is a cool title. And maybe it stems into this kind of storyline or something, that would relate to me in some sort of way as well. Over the years, going through relationships and feeling what heartbreak feels like and going through it all, but I've been able to really, pull from my own places as well. But I think the cool part about all of that is being able to mix between those two things, because I think something I've also learned is like I can release a song and you guys could listen to it and interpret it in a completely different way than what I even meant in the first place. And so I think there's so many cool ways to kind of tell other stories at the same time. I'm like always playing with new ideas, and I have like a voice memo app on my phone that has over 4,000 different hums and ideas of songs and stuff. So I'm always just kind of going from there.
Gotten a lot out of this.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I'm so
too.
excited for
We're
you
just
though.
chatting.
It's an exciting time.
Thanks.
Right. 30
Yeah.
minutes went like flat. We'll most definitely have to do an interview part 2.
I know.
But
Well, you sound just very knowledgeable too. Obviously, it's your work, it's your craft, but like in music theory, it almost reminds me. I don't know if you follow Charlie Puth on TikTok, but he does like his thing is how can I make a song out of like this sound or not, or
Yeah.
really goes through like the music theory and the production of it. And I
Uh-huh.
know having your like at home studio, it seems like it's just such a part of your daily life. I love that you have a little voice memo app where you'll just have, melodies or like something that.
Yeah, thanks. I feel
Yeah.
like I would, in that sense, I'd be like the street smart version of him. I feel like because
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not super like I can't read music and I'm not super like, oh, I know this note goes with this and this, like all of that music theory side of things. I'm more like when I started piano, I just kind of taught myself off of
Are
hearing
you
and
self-taught? I'm
stuff.
always impressed by people who are instruments self-taught. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just more of like a hearing thing and like
Yep.
seeing the notes and like, oh, these go together and just
Yeah.
experimenting really and trying and kind of learning over time. But
that's very much like Charlie Puth, honestly.
It is.
That's
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say,
pretty
yeah.
incredible
He's
too.
like self-taught with beatboxing. So there you go, Grant. There's your next thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Timberlake had a little beatbox foray
I've
into
done it a little bit
Timberlake.
in
Yeah.
like the back of tracks, or I'll beatbox and chop it up into different samples sometimes and do that
That's cool. Oh, you're
times.
probably beatboxing. I didn't even know it. Like some of the, I love just the sibs in the background and the, I don't know. It's like I said, gives a real, it's just there's such a need for it. I feel like in the pop world, that type of
Yeah.
sound that's just, you want to dance, it's fun, but then like lyrically deep as well.
I
That's
feel like those
awesome.
are some of the best songs. Like I know there's
Yeah.
some Lady Gaga songs that you're like dancing and you're like, oh, this feels so good. And then you're like, wait, what is she talking about? Like
Oh my God,
this
the
is
lyrics are like ripping me apart. What? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I think that was
Very
me
cool.
during her recent tour. So
Wait,
Right.
did you see her on did you go on this tour for Grenade? I
oh,
forget.
I saw her in Madison Square Garden right after she won her little Spaceman.
Questions, but thank you so much for all your answers. It was great to just
Yeah.
chat and I love hearing, the creative process and the inspiration behind it and even just all the thought that goes into, like you said, deciding on the cover artwork or how you're gonna, decide which songs make the cut and having all the
Yeah,
others that you sort of save for another time. So it was great. Well, we're
totally.
really excited for you. This is such an awesome
Thank you.
time. Yeah, soak it all up. We're really excited on our end to hype you and promote you and do what
Thank
we
you so
can.
much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
For sure, for sure. And we're
Very
super
sweet.
excited to see what's next.
Me too. Yeah, can't wait. I'm
Thanks.
rocking out to autopilot. So good.
Love that.
Yeah,
Oh,
awesome.
no,
And
buying the album, buying that vinyl right now.
Yes, yes,
I
I'm
know,
super
right?
excited
Let's
about the
get
vinyl
it.
too. It's gonna be cool
Oh,
because
a motorcycle
it's
shop.
it's different seeing your artwork and everything and hearing your music on a vinyl. I don't know, it's a different feeling and it's really cool. And
Yeah,
like for this one, we're doing like a gatefold where it opens and has the inserts and different stuff. So it's been fun like designing all of that and
oh, that's fun.
No, looking
Very
through your website, I thought all the artwork, everything that you did to make it happen, it looks super sick.
It
Very
does.
Thank
The
cool.
the branding is phenomenal. So I know you said you and your team kind of like work and you Photoshop your way through it and come up with ideas, and it's great.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Now, next
Yeah.
time we see you, you have to be in red, right? We'll expect it.
I know. I'll be wearing red. Next time you see me, my whole room will be red instead.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Be like, what?
but
It's officially the new
the
era.
dog's name can stay. Don't worry. Blue, right? That's your
Yeah.
dog's name?
Yeah, they'll
Cute.
say.
He's the one exception.
He's
Don't
even a
worry.
blue-nosed pit bull too.
Oh, he's a blue nose pit bull. Oh, that's so perfect then.
Yeah, it all goes together. But
Well,
all
thank you
right.
so much for taking the time. It was so great to chat with
Thank
you.
you. It was great talking
Yes.
to you guys too.
Yeah, good
We're
luck and
super
congrats on
excited.
everything. And we'll definitely be in touch. And
Perfect.
We'll
All
definitely be
righty.
listening to Good Luck Getting Over Me on October 17th.
such a great album name. It
Yes.
does. It just exudes like the confidence and the swagger that,
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And hopefully I see y'all in Brooklyn too.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, Grant. It
Thank
was so
you.
nice to meet you.
Thank you
Take
guys. Great
care.
talking with you.
Congrats on everything.
Thank you.
Tonight I feel like, wow, taste cannot clean my crown. So look at me right now.